Hey there, this is Rick. I hope everyone's having a great day. Right, I'm just sat in my bedroom at the moment editing the new allotment video, but I thought I wanted to make this little bit of video footage before I put the allotment video up, because I wanted to thank everybody for all the amazing comments I've had over the last week on both Facebook and on YouTube. Since I've come back to YouTube, it's been quite overwhelming. I've had hundreds of comments, and all of them just kind of well-wishing and just sort of welcome back, Rick, and we really missed you. And it was really, really quite touching to read all of those comments. And I just wanted to say a massive heartfelt thank you. Okay, that's it. Let's get on with the allotment video, shall we? Well, greetings and salutations, this is Rick. I do hope everyone's having a great day. Well, as you may have seen from my video last week, slight disaster over the course of the winter where I lost the use of the polytunnel. I've been racking my brains ever since, sort of trying to decide exactly what it is I want to be doing here. And I think what I'm going to do is go back to the drawing board. I'm going to go back and start everything from scratch again. I came to the allotment for the first time last week. I did some damage control. I took the polythene down off the polytunnel. As you can see, I haven't got another one up yet. And I'm deciding, or I have decided over the course of the last week, that I think this year, rather than growing stuff, I'm going to spend the whole year getting the plot into some sort of order so that it will serve me much better in years to come. I thought, if I just give myself this whole year, because I just haven't really got it in me to do the growing at the intensity that I did it last year. I just haven't got it in me this year. I'm just, this year's going to be a bit of a tick over year for me. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spend the entire summer just gradually pottering around this place, putting things in order, building little things, just not worrying about the plants, not worrying about the growing, but getting everything ready so that next year I can hit it properly, and have a really good growing season next year. And I think I'm quite happy with that decision. Now, if you look around at what's going on here, there is so much to be done that at the moment it's just overwhelming me. There's just too much going on, and I know the only way to get through that is just to chip away at it a little bit at a time. And because of the pressure of the growing season is now well upon us, I mean, we've got the nice sunny weather, we're well into April, and ideally I should have stuff in the ground now, and it's just not happened. I think it's a really good decision to just spend this year, like I say, just getting everything organised, figuring out exactly what I'm going to do with this polytunnel, changing the lay of the land, reorganising everything. Yes, I may even get the rotavator out, but no, I'll be alright, I'll be good. I'll hand dig stuff if I need to, but what I'm thinking actually in terms of is building lots of raised beds and pathways, and just kind of getting this place properly up to scratch and ready to go for next year. So with the pressure taken off me to get this place up to scratch within the allotted time, it also means I get a chance to work on my garden back at home. And it's actually the reason why I've come here today, because I need to start borrowing some of the soil from these paddling pools. Now, I know a couple of you left comments on my last video where you said, well, Rick, you can't take soil away from your allotment because you'll find that it's in your allotment agreement. Well, luckily all of the soil in these paddling pools was actually imported by me. I actually bought a pallet of compost a couple of years ago and filled all these paddling pools up, so I'm not actually taking any soil away from the allotment. This is my own soil, so I'm going to be bagging some of that up today, taking it back to the garden, and hopefully in this video you'll get to see my back garden at home as well. Now, one of the things I've done back home is I bought nearly 600 little bedding plant plugs, and I need to plant those. Now I've got a load of these potato type buckets which I've already planted up at home. I'm going to take a few more home with me today, full of soil. I've managed to dig out of my shed a couple of these, so I'm going to fill those up, load the van up with them, take those home. I've also got a bag of manure which I found in the back of the shed. I shall take that home with me. Unfortunately, one of the things that always seems to happen to me whenever I come to the allotment is I always forget something. And one of the things that I took back with me a few weeks ago was the shovel, and I haven't brought it back with me, so it's going to be awkward filling up these bags. But I think what I'll do is I'll half fill buckets and then empty them in, and I'm sure I can do that just purely by hand, just shoveling the soil into the bucket. So I'll have a go at that in a minute, and then hopefully I can have a van load of compost, get it home, and then I can start planting up these little plugs, and hopefully my home garden just going to look an absolute picture this year. That's the plan anyway. So I better get on with it, really. Another good reason to empty these beds out. Now this isn't secure anymore. Every blooming cat in the neighbourhood has decided to poop in it. So I think the sooner I empty these beds out, the better. Ooh. Right, so there we go. That's the van all loaded up with pots and soil. Time to go home and get those flowers planted up. So if you want to join me, I'll show you what I've got going on at home. Right then, so here we are at my humble little abode, and I've just got all this soil down from the allotment. The garden may look a little bit different to what you saw last time. As you can see, I've planted up some trees. I've got loads of pots. You may recognise the pots from what I grew my potatoes in last year down at the allotment. And all of these pots have lots and lots of bedding plants growing in them, along with Japanese acers and bamboo as well. Particularly like bamboo, especially around my little oriental bit. I'm also having a go with these rather weird looking cat scarers. I read about them. A couple of people have suggested to use them because I was having major issues with cats pooping in my pots, and so far they actually seem to be working. Now I wanted to keep things nice and simple this year, so what I did was I ordered lots and lots of these. These are little plug plants that you get from the nursery. They're pretty much already started off. There's no growing from seed, and if you buy them in bulk, they're quite cheap. And literally, it's just a case of taking one of these plants and putting it wherever you want. Literally, that's all I've done. I've put them in all of these buckets all around the garden. As I said, the biggest issue is the amount of soil you need. It gets a little crazy, especially when you're using deep buckets like this, because the chances are the plants are only ever going to go that deep in the bucket, but of course you've got to fill the bucket up that deep, so it does get quite expensive. And I have been looking at alternatives, and I've recently ordered some bags. These are like grow bags, and they're just little tall bags that have little holes in the side, and you just poke these little plugs into them, and hopefully, obviously you've got to keep your eye on the watering on those, but hopefully you should get a really nice display when the flowers come out. Now, on top of using the little plant plugs, I've also been using seeds, and all I've literally been doing is just filling up these big buckets or whatever containers I've got there, and just sprinkling a packet of seeds on each one, so it's all the same in one bucket. A little bit of soil on the top, bit of water, and that's it, done. And putting them out there. I think the only ones I've planted indoors so far have been these ones, which are something called Verbena bonariensis, which is like a big purpley thing, and they're coming up okay by the looks of it. But up until now, I've always been quite practical about gardening, and I've sort of done it for a reason. You kind of get this end product, which is fruit and vegetables, and so you end up with something that you can eat. I've never really been that interested in flowers and or growing them. I was, in a way, okay, they look nice, but to be honest, I've always sort of thought of them as a little bit sort of pointless, really. But that's sort of all changed this year, and I think one of the big influences, or one of the big nudges I've been getting, is from a magazine that I'm subscribed to. And I'm going to give them a little plug, and I'm not affiliated to them, but there's a magazine now called Garden News, and it's really cheap. It's just over £1 a week, and it's delivered to your house, which is really good. It's sort of, they can't be making much profit, and on top of that, they keep sending you loads of seed packets with each magazine. It comes in each week. You get 1 or sometimes 2 packets of seeds. And literally half my garden is filled up with the flower seeds that these guys have sent. Look, over the last few months, I've built up quite a collection, and no doubt this week's issue, when it arrives, will have more. And they normally arrive just around the time when they're ready to plant, which is good. There's a few here that needed the weather to warm up a little bit, and they need planting in April outdoors, which I'm actually going to do this weekend, this Easter weekend. So I thought it'd be a shame. I know they're flowers, they're not vegetables. They've got no actual sort of purpose apart from looking pretty. But I thought, no, I'm going to plant them all, and I'm kind of really pleased that I have, because I know in the summertime my garden's going to look a real picture. I'm really sure of it, and I'm kind of really looking forward to it. So whether it's something I'm going to do year in, year out, I don't know. I might end up growing vegetables in those pots or something. But to be honest, I if it all goes the way I think it's going to go this year, I may very well just grow lots and lots of flowers here each year, and just completely keep it all in pots. That way, it's all very, very contained. It's very under control. The same as the bamboos. I've specifically planted the bamboos in pots, because I know bamboo can go rampant, and you've got to stay on top of it all the time. But obviously, if it's in the pot, then it's only going to grow so big before it just kind of stops. It'll become a bit pot bound, in which case you can deal with it at your leisure, without it sort of demanding that you deal with it because it's rampaging out of control. So that's Rick Weld at the moment regarding, where I stand with the whole gardening thing. So the allotment, I'm still going to be pottering around and making films at the allotment, but there's not going to be any actual vegetable or plant growing this year. It's all going to be prepared, preparation work, hopefully basing it upon the things I've learned over the last couple of years. But I'm really hoping I can just get the actual plot itself up to scratch, so that next year I can really hit the ground running, nice and early, when the growing season starts, and I can get some really nice produce. So all theory at the moment, but hopefully it'll all unfold as the year progresses. Like I say, I'm still not entirely sure how I'm going to do it. Obviously, if you've got any suggestions of things that I can do on the allotment plot. I know there's been several mentions of the no-dig method, and that is something I am pondering doing, some sort of even if it's not the actual no-dig method, it might be sort of based along those lines, because I very much like that idea. I'm a very lazy gardener, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Anything that's a bit sort of labour saving, I'll give it a go. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. I hope it wasn't too dull this time round. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of the day, and hopefully I'll catch you up in the next video. Take care.